Facebook and upload them. But I got to the 50 subscribers, so it allowed me to unlock the going live feature. But it's still super limited until I get to 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe. I wanted to do a little thing on recovery today. So a few days ago, I landed on my walker really, really hard, and I thought my ribs were broken because the pain has been so severe, and they felt broken, and I still can't really breathe right or do anything. So I went for an x-ray, and they're not broken, luckily, but it was going to have me push back my detox a little bit, because a lot of times when you're in pain, you don't want to take on more pain. You start getting afraid, and you're like, hey, I'm at wit's end, I can't do anything that will cause more pain. And everyone's like, slow and steady wins the race, but that's not true. When you surrender your life to God, then things happen at God's speed. So I was diagnosed with FND November 1st of 2024, and I went into remission May 18th. That next May 18th, I can't remember if that becomes, it was like months later, within the year. So now I'm at 9 months since I've been diagnosed. This November will make a year, so whatever that timeline is. So since I couldn't get out of bed and I was already in so much pain, I decided to detox further. So now I'm down to 50% off my detox. I started at the 12 baclofen, and I've been leaning myself off, and now I'm down to 6. So detoxing is another thing we get scared to do, scared to let our bodies regain control, scared to enter into more pain. But with pain and recovery, there's no way out, there's only a way through. So even as you do your exercises, and I'm still in bed 90% of every day for about a year now, but you're gonna want to work through the pain, and pain's a great motivator, because when you're doing your walk or going up and down those stairs and you feel like you want to die, when you're just holding on to Jesus and focused on that pain and getting through it, you get through it, and that's how you recover faster. So I believe every single person with FND can recover way, way, way faster than the odds that are out there right now. I just think we need a different approach, and to realize that as severe as it feels, there is Godspeed healing. So I have this book. I got destroyed. I used to read for my everyday, and then my cat went in my purse and got diarrhea all over it. And I didn't find out till I was walking and I got to the lake, so I washed it in the lake. So now it's like still filled with like shells, and there's no binding or cover, whatever. But the book is such an incredible book that I just keep reading from it. And with only one income coming in now, because I don't work, I don't have extra money to throw around on things, especially replacing things I already have that work just fine. So that's why this book looks like it's been through it, because it has. But every single day the readings from here are amazing. It's called He Whispers Your Name by Sherry Hill. And it's just a short devotional book. Every day it's just one page. So I'm going to turn to July 29th. Wait, I think it's July. Oh, wait. It's July 30th? Let me check the crap. I don't know if it's June 29th or 30th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read June 29th and I'm going to read June 30th. So you get a double reading today. So July 29th is called Receiving Through Faith. I see you continually trying instead of trusting. I need you to be completely reliant on me. If I'm to perform miracles in your life, you try to create your own changes, but only I can create the change you need from the inside out. You need to let me be God in every area of your life. I know how desperate your needs are. I know how your heart longs for all its desires. And I want to give you peace that I will not withhold one good thing from you as you trust in me. Give up your desire to control your life and allow me the joy of transforming your life from glory to glory. It's up to you to live from faith to faith. I will give you peace to remain calm and secure through all of life's storms. Just trust me to take you through them. It's not about what you can do in the situations you face. It's about what I have done for you. I want you to focus on my heart, not my hand. Your faith will bring about the blessings you desire. Live each moment in peace, joy, and confidence. Trust me with your life, for every blessing depends on your faith. The promise is received by faith. It is given as a free gift. And that's Romans 4:16. And since I said I wasn't sure if today's July 29th or July 30th, and I don't have a calendar, you guys get 2 readings today. So July 30th is called Blessing Your Neighbor. And this is something I absolutely love, because God does call you to love your neighbor. And that, you don't pick your neighbors. You have neighbors that are different religions, different races than you grew up knowing how to accept, depending on your family or your religious background. My neighbor's a witch, and I am obsessed with Jesus, and we love each other and have so much mutual respect and acceptance, and neither one of us tries to convert the other. Loving thy neighbor means just accepting who they are. And even with Mexicans and what's going on with them, you're called to love them, whether they're illegal or not, because those laws are man-made. God didn't say people from Mexico can't go into New York or wherever they want. So there's laws that are man-made that aren't God-made, and still you break laws, you get in legal trouble, but you always just want to follow morals. And neighbors could be anyone that you don't agree anything with their lifestyle. A lot of people are homophobes or racists, or don't like people because they have a religious spirit that aren't living by the Bible. I live in sin with my boyfriend. That's against the Bible. So I do a lot of videos too on just mutual respect, and you don't judge a person by their actions. You don't judge a person by, I wouldn't do that. All you're doing when you do that is you're putting yourself on a high horse, and all sin is created equal. So anything you do that day that's against the Bible is sin. And most of us don't go a day without a sin. Even an angry thought, anything, you know what I mean? If you think something bad, sin is sin. So no, you don't judge a person on their actions, because that's not who they are. You judge a person on their actions when it comes to who you're friends with, who's in your circle, who you marry or date. Then it's all about actions, but we're not called to judge our neighbors on anything they do. That's not our place. We're called to just love our neighbors. So it doesn't matter if your neighbor's a drug dealer. You're not called to judge them. You're just called to love them, respect them. It doesn't mean you could bully them or mistreat them or be rude to them. You're still called to have a heart of Jesus to everyone in life, whether you agree with their actions or not. Because he doesn't say love people who you agree with. That's actually a very religious spirit, to only love people that are living the way you live. So I'm going to do the next reading, which is July 30th, because I wasn't sure the date. So let's get back to July 30th. Oh, so that's why I started talking about neighbors. July 30th is blessing your neighbors. I forget things as I'm talking about them, so it's nice that when I get a little memory jog. So this is called Blessing Your Neighbor. I've created you specifically to accomplish things that no one else on earth can. Your spiritual gifts are unique. so that you will be equipped to bless others in a particular way. You are made for a purpose. Don't compare yourself to others. The only thing that matters is how I see you. I will orchestrate circumstances for you to uniquely use your gifts. Trust me to bring the right opportunities to you. The paths I pave for you may not always be easy. They may present challenges that require me to do the impossible, but I need you to trust that I know what I'm doing. I want you to lay aside your fears and trust that I will equip you to do what I'm asking you to do. All that I do for good, even though it may not seem like it at the time. I have blessed you so that you may be a blessing to others. Just rely on my strength and allow me to work in and through you. In His grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. So if God has given you the ability to prophesy, speak out with as much faith as God has given you. And that's Romans 12:16. And the spiritual gifts, those aren't limited to anyone in the world. The spiritual gifts, as you have a relationship with Jesus, as that area of your life is surrendered, you get more and more authority, you get more and more anointing. Signs, miracles, and wonders, they become part of your everyday life. And November 1st, I was paralyzed from the neck down. I was in wheelchairs. Earlier that morning, there was no diagnosis as to whether I was dying or had cerebral palsy. And I just kept my worship music on the entire time, trusting God, because there's nothing you need to put your faith in doctors or people you know or who you know or your own resources or your own money or your own connections. When you surrender to God, He's your doctor and He works miracles. There's people every single day that doctors literally say your healing could only be described as a miracle. It's not possible. And that's God's healing. So even when you're in the worst state of your life and it seems like you have years and years and years to recover, things could happen at God's speed. And my recovery happened, I got baptized on Mother's Day. Let me backtrack. I got saved July 1st of 2024, and then had my first symptom of this disorder August 20th, and by September 19th, I was paralyzed, unable to walk, and had a million symptoms. And then I went through it all. That's a long story. I have earlier videos on that. And then I got baptized on Mother's Day, and I went into remission exactly 1 week later, Sunday. And at that point, with this disorder, it affects you cognitively and physically. And at that point, you go into parts of your brain that it's like you have Down syndrome, autism, like you're 4, Alzheimer's, dementia. You'll forget the names of your kids, faces of, your own mom. So as you're going through surrender, you're just like, well, I don't think you realize, God, but you're not trying to fix a little thing. And at this point, every neurotransmitter in your entire brain has disconnected from your brain, and no neurotransmitter could ever be created the same way ever again. And in fact, that part of your brain that your neurotransmitters used to go to, the new ones could no longer access. So now you're primarily operating out of the right side of your brain for the rest of your life. So even as you go into remission with diseases like this, you stay a neurodivergent to the day you die. So every day you're walking with Jesus, and most of the time I have to be in my walker, but there's days I don't need my walker at all. And those are the days I take my walks with Jesus, and I'm like, I trust you, because at any single second, any part of my body could go paralyzed. I go into seizures, all sorts of things, but I could be walking and fine and then lose 100% of mobility of my whole body, drop like a sack of potatoes, and literally would have to be carried. I wouldn't be able to crawl or walk or use a wheelchair or anything. So every time I take my walks, I'm just like, you and me, Jesus. And I'm supposed to be on a life alert 24/7, but I just say Geneva's my life alert. I'm just in an area that I'm so blessed that there's just so many incredible people, and it's just such a place that so many artists and people that love nature are here. The Finger Lakes really brings in a lot of people that are just so creative and peaceful, and everyone loves the water. And I've had strangers help me across streets, help me up. I've had strangers help me when I fall. I've always had strangers around here that they'll just stop and help, and they're like that with everyone, because it's a real sense of community. And the whole love thy neighbor, it doesn't have to be just the person that lives to your left. If you're in a building, they're your neighbors. You know what I mean? Your neighbors are just wherever you're at, the people that are around you, really. When you're in church, the people sitting next to you are your neighbors, or just being in the same town. They're just your, Geneva neighbors. So you're really not called to judge or treat anyone different. That's the religious spirit. You choose your circle, you know what I mean? But you're still called to walk with the sinners and the misfits. You're not called to cast them out like in the old days. Everyone's sick, the misfits, the unhealthy, they were cast out, and they weren't loved by anyone. And that's not what we're called to do. I'm not saying, pick up the phone, it's Friday night, find a trap house and go hang out there and, look for sinners. I'm saying, as God brings people into your life, no matter what they're walking in, whether they're saved, whether they're not saved, whether you're like, this person's on crack, it doesn't matter. You're not supposed to judge them. You're supposed to meet them where they're at, because God meets you where you're at. And you're not supposed to wait to go to Jesus till you're without sin, or no one could ever go to Jesus. You go to Jesus when you call out to him, and it becomes a deep calling on the deep. And the more you call to him, the more he draws nearer to you, and then he brings people into your life by divine connection. Your home, your partner, everything becomes just divine connection. Every door opened, every door closed, the way you earn money, the way you spend your time. And every storm is a blessing, because every storm you learn so much. And there's a song by Samantha Ebert. I'm currently creating a website for F&D to go worldwide, and that song is going to play in the background. And it's called Flowers in the Valley. I did a post on YouTube that I think I posted that song, but I'm still new to using this, so I don't really know. But if you look that up, in one of the lines, it's about a woman. She has Lyme disease, and it starts out that she's been in bed for 76 days. And sometimes she's like, God, why are you keeping me here? And then I realized that flowers grow in the valley. And she gets to through the song, and she's talking about how God's her watering can, and that when she got through her valley, she says, God, thank you for keeping me there. So I surrender my timeline every single day, and every day that I'm being kept not where I want to be, I'm like, okay, that's an area I need either more healing, more surrendering. That's the area that God's still refining me in. And refinement takes time. And the busier you are, the harder you are to refine, because, when you're running and commuting to work and raising kids and all this responsibility and in the rat race of life, you're not getting refined as quickly because you have so many distractions. But when you fall into chronic illness and some of these storms in your life, and all the distractions dissipate, it's just you and Jesus, and he's able to work through God's speed. So there's a F&D channel coming out that someone's doing that a bunch of us will be on. That's going to go worldwide too. And I'm doing a whole mix of things, because I'll be doing some stuff that's just as an evangelist, and some stuff on healing, recovery, detox, chronic illness, and then a bunch of other stuff just talking out about things in the world and Bible and churches and I guess that falls under evangelism, but it's gonna be all sorts of things. I'm not labeling my videos because I don't want to take the time to do that, and I don't frankly want the responsibility. I just want to do what I enjoy. So I enjoy just being able to talk without having to filter out things and figure out algorithms and how to tag things that they get out into the world and all. So I'm not putting much learning into how YouTube works, and I'm just surrendering it to God and like, hey, God, open the doors for me with this, because He knows my learning capacity is being spent on other things. You have to still learn how to recook, social etiquette, words. You go in and out of being illiterate, and we watch movies now with subtitles on them. And I asked Adam one time, like, why do you do that? And he's like, well, it's good for you to also read it. And I didn't notice he had been doing this for a while, but every movie that we watch, I'm now reading through it. And there was a time I couldn't write my name or read a sentence. And that was only a few months ago. So a lot of my videos too, they're not just pertaining to my chronic illness, but just relearning things and creative outlets. And in 5 years, we're going to have a homestead and be completely off grid. And so it's just always going to be evolving and changing into different things. I'm not going to box myself into one category. So that's why I'm not really labeling anything. It's just, if God puts my video for someone to look at it and they look at it, you know what, then they look at it. But just remember, things happen in God's speed. And if the stairs in front of you, these are the stairs I look up all the time. I walk up and down those sometimes for exercise, but when your staircase just seems so long and so hard and you don't even know where to begin, it literally is step by step, and you'll most of the time never see, even one step ahead of you. You literally see just the step you're on, and that's where you're trusting God. God, I'm on this step with you. So whatever happens on this step is your divine connections, it's your perfect timing, it's your will for my life, Lord. So I'm just on this step with you. And then when He wants to move you to the next step, He will. And He'll be there with you also. So I don't actually know how to end my lives on this. This is the first time I did a live on YouTube. So I'm really trying to find a hang up button because I'm trying to get off. I'm going to hit this arrow. I don't know what it's going to do. It doesn't say just end. All right. Oh no, that's not it. Okay, I literally don't. I'm gonna just try to X out of YouTube, but I don't even know if I have to hit post or save. I don't. This is a trial and error. I'm gonna hit the X. Wait, no. Oh wait, do you wanna end? Yes.